Hey, my name is Ryan, and today we're unboxing another pair of Luosjiet boots. These are their service boots, as you've probably already seen with the thumbnail. So I'm gonna jump right into it. These are gonna be part of a video series that I'm doing about the most bang for the buck boots that you can get right now. And I love my Indiana Jones boots, so I got these Luosjiet service boots, something a little bit different. This is, I really would have loved to have purchased another pair of Indiana Jones boots, but went with these because I wanted to give them, I wanted to look at them with another style of boot. So here we go. Make sure I'm very simple packaging with Luosjiet. You're not getting a ton of goodies, but here we are. Here's the boot. Now this is made with a T-core leather. So a T-core leather, I think, it's named after the brown leather that has a top coat on top of it. So it's supposed to, when it breaks in, those lighter colors from the leather below are supposed to show through a little bit, give it a nice patina. And this really is just a beautiful boot. Can you see that? Look at that back. It's so clean. We're gonna dive deep into these in just a moment. And then of course we're gonna be reviewing them and doing a long-term review on them. So if that's something that interests you, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. So while I'm going through this, and before we look at these a little bit closer, I want to talk to you about something. These boots were sent to me by Luosjiet, and they were sent to me free. I didn't pay for these boots, but let me tell you the story behind it. So, when it comes to the brand, you may know, if you've seen any of my YouTube videos, that I bought these. And these Indiana Jones boots, they caught my eye online. I paid for them with my own money. And I wanted to do a video series on them, and I just fell in love with them. And I've been beating these up, using these a ton, and I just love them even more now than I did. So I just love these boots. So I wanted to buy another boot from them to do kind of a review on, and I thought this would be a good boot to do it with. But believe it or not, I was talking to my wife, and she said, hey, why don't you just reach out to them and see if they'll send you a boot? So I had like less than 100 subscribers at the time. I thought that was ridiculous, but I reached out to them and I asked them, and they said, yeah, we'll send you a pair to do some reviews. Let's see this in the, can you see that? The color? So they sent out a pair, but now you're wondering, is this biased? Am I going to be biased with this brand? And the answer is yes. But not in the way that you may think I'm going to be biased. It's really going to be, I'm biased in two ways when I'm looking at this. The first way I'm biased is I love my Indiana Jones boots. I think they're amazing. This is an awesome looking boot. So I do love this boot. So naturally I'm going to be biased to think that I'm going to love this shoe also. And I'm also going to be biased in the fact of what got me these boots. So I'm going to change the angle of the camera real quick. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You can see it a little bit better. So I'm biased of what got these boots, and it's not what you think it is. It's not to the company. This company doesn't mean anything to me. I love that boot that I got from them, but this is likely the only pair they're going to send me. So I don't have any motivation to lie to you, but I'm biased because at the time they sent these out, I had 100 subscribers, right? So that wasn't what got me the boot. It was the fact that there was about 6,000 total views on my Indiana Jones boots reviews when you add them up. So what got me these boots was your views. So I'm biased towards you guys. I mean, I'm gonna tell you if I like it or not. I'm gonna tell you the truth about it. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not told to say anything about these boots. This is totally my own opinion. I do like the brand. I do like the boot. They did send it to me for free, but I don't have to say anything I don't want to say. So I just have these boots. I was going to buy them. I saved the 200 bucks. And now let's do a deep dive into the QC of these, followed by sizing, because I changed up the sizing from my Indiana Jones boots. Okay, so the stitch and the stitch density is nearly flawless. So one thing, look at that. So my Indiana Jones boots didn't have a welt seam because it was a 270. So here is their welt. It's pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of, yeah, that's not too bad, but the stitches are near perfect. One thing I really like about them is they leave enough on the welt when they sand, so it would be easy to use the welt when you resole. So my Indy boots, I already brought that out, but see how much left there is on that welt. I mean, you'll be able to resole these without having to replace it. So the welt looks amazing. The sole is like a Vibram knockoff. It's got the mini lug. Look at the stitches. They look really good. And then it's a nailed heel. Now, I believe they said there was no midsole, but to me, doesn't that look like there's a midsole there? I see a line over the rubber sole and a line where the welt is. So it says no midsole, but man, that looks like it has a midsole. I gotta find out about that. So T-core, so one thing I love about this is how you see the brown T-core leather, the inside. And one thing I mentioned on the Luosjiet Indiana Jones boots is they didn't seem to skive the seams, and it's the same here, which gives it a really cool look. But if we look over all the stitches, everything seems flawless. Am I missing anything here? Look inside the boot. Hey, look at that. That's not the size I got last time. We'll talk about that in a moment. Oops. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but I was gonna say sorry to the camera. There is the inside with the thick veg tan insole and the half sock liner. Here is the second boot. So see, there's something there. There is definitely a midsole. So I mean, wow. So you're getting a midsole and a thick veg tan leather insole for less than $200. So if you're still here, make sure to subscribe so you can see the review on these to see how they stack up against other boots for the value. But the welt again is really good. The stitches are really good. There's a seam, fairly decent. Definitely on the same level as Allen Edmonds. This sole stitching is awesome. That stitch per inch is great, right? That's as much as you get in a pretty high quality boot. So this is it, right? I'm gonna try it on, walk around in it, let you guys see that, and talk to you a little bit about the sizing. One thing was, I was a little bit smitten when I opened these up. I was just blown away by how they looked. They just look awesome, but I did find a flaw that I know means a lot to some of you boot guys. So let me put this down. So if you look, so you've got the welt seam here, and then I think right here, can you see that? Sorry, right there. That is a seam in the welt. So that isn't something they make, but it's something that comes from the manufacturer of the welt. They just seam it together. So it's not really noticeable, but it is there. So you have boots like Grant Stone's, other boots, even Allen Edmonds, I've never seen that before. So one viewer commented about that on the Indiana Jones boots that I brought it out, but they thought that was a deal breaker. Isn't for me, but it's on both boots. Let's see, I thought it was at least. Yes, no? It's right there. See that? So you're just gonna need to know how you feel about it. But these boots are unbelievable. And I think they have a midsole. So if that's true that they have a midsole, this split welt and a full veg tan insole. This gorgeous T-core leather, and it's $199, and I believe they run like a 10% off sale. And I'm going to talk to you about one last thing about these. This isn't a sponsored video. These were for free to me. But one thing personally I've decided to do is I will, if a boot company wants to send me a boot, I'm going to take it. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to join any affiliate programs. And the reason is because affiliate programs, you're really trying to sell the boot now, because every time one sells, you make money. I don't make any money off the sale of this boot, the sale of this boot. So I'm not going to make any money. Just want to show you the inside here a little bit more. I'm not going to make any money off of it. But if I had an affiliate link for it, I could make money, and I just don't trust myself, really, honestly, because I know I'm going to want to sell them. So I'm not going to sign up for any affiliate marketing. So that's how I'm going to keep it. So their bias is towards you guys and not the shoe companies. And this might seem super biased, but my first thought with these Luosjiet boots is that they are gorgeous and they're an unbelievable deal. So please check out my review of these. Well, I'll go into detail about what they're all about, what the company's all about, and see how they compare to other good valued boots. You may remember when I was doing reviews of the Indiana Jones boots that the last was a really wide last, which I like a snug fitting shoe. So I can make this work with a thicker sock, but because of that, and the size I got was a 46.5, and that was the size that was recommended to me. I'm a size 12 in Red Wing, so I got the 46.5, but because the last was so wide and I was wearing thicker socks to accommodate, I thought I would go down to a 46. So this would be equal to a Red Wing 11.5. And mind you, I'm a Brannick, I'm a 13D, but I could be a 13C also because I have pretty narrow feet. So let's see how these turned out. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. That feels perfect. I can still wiggle my toe a little bit. So that's my size. Oh man, these things are gorgeous. I love when you can see the edges of leather. I mean, I just think it's so pretty. The inside here is really nicely done too. And again, I'm not told to say anything positive about these boots, but this is a really pretty boot. Really well made, it looks like too. Now the laces, this is pretty interesting. Let's see how much I can get out of these, but that might be a little bit of an issue. The leather is extremely stiff. It's a lot like a cast right now, but that is to be expected. Okay. Yeah, that fits amazingly. That's perfect. So one thing I never talked about with my Indiana Jones boots was how they are to lace. It's difficult to lace, especially with these flat wax laces and these eyelets that are so close together, and then the speed hooks that are close also. And I guess I never even thought of it as a negative thing because I knew what they were doing was they were emulating the Aldens, and the Aldens I had the same exact problems with. So I didn't even see it as a negative because it's a common problem with the Indies. But that is something to think about if you are wanting to buy the Indiana Jones boots. But now let's put on this one. Okay, these are perfect. So definitely at 46 in Luosjiet, 13D/C in the Brannick. Let's check these out now.